What's going on, my people? Welcome to another episode of Pretty Boss TV. Sexuality. Yes, we're talking about sex. We all grown here. And even for these little youngins running around who thinking they grown, this is going to benefit you too. Okay? How do celibates release? How do we release sexually? And because of a certain conversation that I had in a certain circumstance, I thought this was very important to talk about, okay? Alright? And I just did a video about sexual discipline, so check out that video also. But anyways, I wanted to talk about in this video, how do celibates sexually release? Now, we all know that we're human beings. As I say, my channel is all about the middle path. This isn't about being oh so spiritual, and this isn't about being oh so carnal. There is a nice balance right down the middle, and that's always what I strive for in my own personal life. So I'm 100% happy to call myself goddess, spiritual, whatever you want to call me, and I'm 100% happy and comfortable to call myself human because I'm in this body. There's no denying that, you know, and there are human pleasures that I get that I can only get in a physical body. So how do celibates release themselves sexually? This is important to talk about for people who may be interested in celibacy or people who are on a celibate path, and sometimes you feel you might get sexual urges. Now, I'm celibate. I've been celibate for 2 years. Within that 2-year span, I do like my hormones are still they still function. Everything's working correctly down there. You understand what I'm saying? Everything is ready to go. You know, I'm still in my 20s and have the whole essence of that. But how do you sexually release as a celibate? So there's two things that I want to talk about. I've spoken about this book on several occasions on my other videos, and as I said, I'm going to be sharing my favorite books with y'all on my videos now because one of my subscribers asked about that. Think and Grow Rich has a chapter about sexual transmutation. When I first became celibate by accident, as I said, I ended up also coming across this book. This book has, look, I opened right to it. This has a chapter on, it's chapter 11, The Mystery of Sex Transmutation. I'm going to read some things I have highlighted. I don't even remember what I have highlighted, but since I have had it highlighted, let's trust that I highlighted these things for a reason, okay? It says the transmutation of sex energy cells calls for the exercise of willpower, to be sure, but the reward is worth the effort. Now, I should have talked about this in my sexual discipline video. Check that out, okay? Fortunate indeed is the person who has discovered how to give sex emotion an outlet through some form of creative effort, for he has by that discovery lifted himself to the status of a genius. I'm not even gonna, look, we gonna stop there. When I first started practicing celibacy, the way that I was physically exerting my sexual energy, because see, people think, see, now I'm getting comfortable, now I'm leaning on the leg. You see, when the hands start flapping, now we about to have some real talk. People think that because we are sexual creatures, because we have hormones, the only way to release that sexual energy is through sex, and that is the biggest lie they ever told you and try to sell you on TV. As they say, sex sells. No, they have been selling you sex, okay? That's what they've been selling you, and now we believe sex sells because they sold us sex our whole life. The truth is, there are many different ways to use your sexual energy. Sexual energy is one of the most powerful energies and ingredients that you can use in anything that you're trying to manifest, okay? So when I first became celibate, the way that I was releasing my sexual energy was through business. It was through creativity, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to put business and creativity in the same category because you have to be creative to be a successful business person, period. You see what I mean? You have to use your mind. You got to use different things to be able to be successful. So I was just putting all of my energy into what I was doing at the time. I was putting all of my sexual energy, and that's literally, y'all. I mean, I've been self-employed, like I said, I think, you know, since 2013 or whatever. I've been self-employed. But when I got to, and I was making money, but I always felt like I was working harder than what I was getting. Now, I do much less and I get way more than I ever did when I was grinding in the streets. And that's something I'm still adjusting to because I'm still mentally kind of used to grinding. But now that I don't have to grind anymore and I make money every day, it's kind of like, you know, I'm not complaining, but it's just different. It's just different than I'm used to. And it's been like this for a couple years now, but I'm still getting used to it. But I'm not complaining at all. But I used my sexual energy and I started to manifest money with it. And Think and Grow Rich is about that. In this book, it says that most men, I might have that highlighted also. But in this book, it says that most men don't become successful. Like, most men become really successful as far as wealth when they are in their 50s or 60s. I'm trying to find it in the book. Okay. It says, okay, and then let me read something else. All right. It's okay. Sex energy is the creative energy of all geni. There never has been and never will be a great leader, builder, or artist lacking in this driving force of sex. The energy must be transmuted from desire for physical contact into some other form of desire and action before it will lift one to the status of a genius. Far from becoming geni because of the great sex desires, the majority of men lower themselves through misunderstanding and misuse of this great force to the status of the lower animals. We're not even going to call names on that. This is in the book, and a man wrote this book, and this is a man who is very successful. He got his bread up, okay? The majority of those who make this discovery do so after having wasted many years at a period when sex energy is at its height, prior to the age of 45 to 50. So it's saying most of you foolish men, I love y'all, but most of you foolish men and foolish women, because I did a video, and I probably need to repost that video, make it public again. I did a video that women are just as horny as men, and I met every last birth of it, and I still do. It's just y'all men got the scapegoat that is like, oh, we're horny, we can do that. No. Trust me, women out here, we're humans just like you, and we might be even more built for sex, because guess what? A woman can keep going and going and going and going and going and going and going. But we're not going to get into that. This is saying that most men don't even get to the point where they're able to manifest the greatest wealth or their greatest capacity, their higher selves, their greatest versions, until they're 45 or 50, because their whole youth, when the sexual energy was at its height, you wasted it. You ejaculated into every thought that you could find. You know what I'm saying? That's what you did. You wasted your sexual energy. I've been studying like Tower sex and all that type of stuff. Ladies, I got videos coming. But for men, y'all expel your energy through ejaculation, and women, we expend our energy through menstruation. Okay, but like I said, that's another video coming. So this is saying that most of you men don't even, y'all become successful so late because you've been wasting your energy frivolously. So we have to think about these things. Just because the TV tells you, oh, you're a man, go sow your oats, oh, you're a man, you can continue to be fooled by it. But guess what? That's going to be you forsaking all of the things that you could be manifesting because you want to buy into the lie that you've been sold on television. Back to point. This sexual energy, as I said, when I became celibate, my bread went way up, like no lie. But that's because I was putting that energy, I was putting all of that sexual creative energy into something else. I used to also I go to the gym now. I'm actually going to the gym today later, but I used to also, sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, when I was a little bit younger and I used to go to the gym a couple years ago, I would get a sexual release at the gym. Alright, that's a side note. That's not even what I did this video for, but I just remembered that, like, sometimes I would just get a sexual release working out. You know, don't you gotta love the treadmills, you know what I'm saying? No, but on a serious note, one way that I sexual release is through creativity, making money, just channeling my energy into manifesting something else. Just like through sex you can manifest a child, right? We know that on a physical level, the highest form of a sexual relationship is when you manifest a child out of that. All right, so that's the same thing. You don't have to just manifest children. You can use your sexual energy to manifest money, businesses, anything that you want in life. Okay. 2, I don't want to make this video too long. I want to talk about this. How do celibates release sexual energy? Through the dreams. Okay, through the dream world. Okay, now I gotta shout out my boyfriends that I've had. You know what I'm saying? I've had some of the best sex. Literally, I think that I've had some of the best sex in the world, and we just gonna end it right there. Okay, so shouts out shouts out to the few of you who I'm talking about. Okay, but dreams, there's sometimes when my sexual energy will build up and I would go to sleep and I would literally have the best sex, better than I've even had in real life. Like, and it's a release. It's so gratifying. It's so gratifying. It doesn't even be a lucid dream like I'm trying to control it. It's not an astral dream. It happens and it's perfect. And when I wake up, I feel like a brand new woman. And so I wanted to say that, like, you're going to be taken care of. Don't think that just because you're celibate, you're not going to have a sexual release. Oh, best believe you will. Okay, and when I talk about being celibate, for the main part, I'm talking about complete celibacy. I'm not talking about you're not having sex with human beings, but you're having sex with the computer, meaning watching porn and masturbating. If you're watching porn and masturbating, you might as well just go have the real thing. You know, and I don't mean to do it occasionally, because I'm about to step into that, and that's going to be my last point that I make. I don't mean on occasion. I don't see anything wrong with satisfying yourself sexually, but you still got to have discipline. If you just, you know, doing your thing every day, you might as well, it would be better off for you to actually have the real human to human contact, because at least you're going to maintain a level of balance, and you will also be able to have sex with real people, because a lot of men that you will meet who have pornography issues, they have erectile dysfunction issues, they get more sex from the computer than they get in real life. And I don't know about y'all, but for me, nothing trumps the real thing. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know in this Transformer generation what y'all like, but for me, there's nothing better than actual flesh to flesh, skin to skin, scent to scent, aura to aura contact. There's nothing that beats that. But dreams, you have your sexual release. Like, this universe is not gonna leave you hanging. Okay, it's not gonna leave you hanging and horny. Like, you will get your sexual release appropriately through dreams, and my dream sex has been better by far than any sex I've literally had in real life. Okay, not to downplay, not to say that I'm, you know, it will be a time and a place when I meet the right man who is able to benefit me. You know, when I have sex, for me is not just about a man busting a nut, because these days we know that a lot of women don't even have orgasms. Like, a lot of men doesn't even actually know how to actually satisfy a woman and get her to that next level in sex. That's another story for another day. But I feel like a sexual exchange, you should be manifesting something out of that. Like, a sexual exchange should add to you, especially since we say for men, ejaculating, that's why y'all need to practice ejaculation. Another story for another day. You're releasing your energy. And for a woman, you're taking on that man inside of you. We could talk about double standards and how bad they are all day, but there is a double standard for a reason. You don't have a pee-pee, he does. There's a difference between receiving something and giving something. So when a man is inside of you, you're taking on parts of this man. Okay, so if I'm gonna be with a man, he needs to have attributes, meaning spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically, that I want to take on myself. If there's not that, then I'm not wasting my energy or my sexual time or any of that type of stuff in a sexual encounter. Okay, so dreams through sexual release. And the last point that I wanted to just tippy touch on is masturbation. Yes, I said it. Masturbation. There's nothing wrong with masturbation. This is your body. If anybody has the right to your body, it's you. Okay, nobody has more of a right to your body than you do. So if you just to the edge, because I'm not gonna lie, like 80% of the time I literally don't even think about sex, but every now and then it creeps in through the back door, and you might be like, oh, it's getting a little hot in here. You know what I'm saying? It's getting a little hot in here. And so if you're feeling like that as a celibate person, there's nothing wrong with masturbation. You know what I'm saying? That's the last and final way. And I feel I'm gonna do a video on masturbation. I want to get into that, especially as it pertains to women, because masturbation is important. As a woman, you have to know how to satisfy yourself sexually before anybody else really can, and before you can teach a man what you need. And that's very important. We're always looking at ourselves as, oh, I want to put it on him, oh, he gonna like this, I'm gonna make him, you know, this and that in 5 minutes and all this type of stuff. When Okay, I get that, but now it's time to understand that no. We the ones that possess the forbidden fruit, okay? You can create a penis. I think they got plenty of dildos for that, but you cannot recreate a vagina even when you get a sex change, okay? Because a penis being pushed inside a hole and a vagina, two different things, okay? You can create a hole cavity in somebody. You cannot recreate the vagina. That's something that's God-given, okay? So shouts out to us for that. But I feel like as women, you know, and there's different layers to it. That's why I'm going to do a video on this, because some women have dealt with different trauma, sexual trauma, whether it was at a young age, whether it was older age. Even sometimes we're sexually traumatized and not even realizing that we were sexually traumatized because we thought it was consensual, but we weren't really realizing our motives and our intentions behind the sex, which kind of ends up victimizing, traumatizing the wound anyway. Another video for another day. But I just want to say there's nothing wrong with masturbation if you need to take it to that level, okay? And I feel like it's very important for women to be able to satisfy themselves anyway. You should be able to satisfy yourself better than anybody, okay? So I just wanted to talk about the ways that celibates release themselves, and I hope this video was helpful. Comment below, especially if you're celibate, if you want to be celibate, if you've never been celibate. I want to hear from all of you, because I've been to, I remember it was one point in my life where I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I think I have a sex problem. Like, I wasn't out there having sex with everybody, but I just had, my sex drive was so through the roof before I had sexual discipline that my desires were controlling me. Now, no ma'am, no sir. I control my desires. I hope that y'all found this video helpful. I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.